it's still in your classroom, they're not going to apply it at home. It's just what it is, whether they just don't want to do it, or whether they're working, or whether they're single parents, or whatever the situation is at home. So you have to make sure that the kid understands, or the child understands, whatever happens at home, happens at home, but this is the kind of behavior that needs to happen here. It's unacceptable. And that's kind of where the behavior plan comes into play.
Right, this is the thing. You want to get this instilled for yourself. This isn't acceptable for you. You're a professional. You don't have to tolerate this. Anytime in particular that kid throws stuff at other kids, you got to write this down. And eventually, whoever is the supervisor, director of the program, you got to tell them this, okay? Because all you need is this kid to throw a block at someone and hit their eye or something and say, hey, what were you doing? Hey, I have this log. I've told you what this kid's doing, okay? One more person, then we're going to move on.
I was going to say, this is a little bit, I guess, of the extreme of everything, but the age that you have 5, you said? I guess this is kind of the age where the problems with IEPs come up and whatnot. So I had a child who was doing the same exact thing that was happening with having interviewed, and he was spitting, kicking, throwing toys, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And her parents were like, she's just a free spirit. No big deal to them, because they already had an autistic
The parents said this, yeah.
Yeah, they have an autistic child already. And they were saying she's a free spirit, she'll grow out of it. They said she can calm herself down, and when it came down to it, she was kicked out of preschool. After preschool, she was kicked out of a private school, and then she was put in public school, and the public school said, you know what, you need to have her evaluated. And you can't say no to the public school system when they tell you to get a child evaluated, or then it comes down to court and whatnot.
Okay.
So she ended up getting evaluated. She had an IEP done, and she's taking medications for whatever she was diagnosed with, and now she's calmer. Sometimes the best thing you can do is document it and bear with it.
Okay. Now, I'd like to introduce Professor Ehrlich.
Look, I got the easy solution. Coming like this. You got a problem! No, do it. All right. First of all, I gotta say something. I'm teaching graduate classes now. I love my undergraduate classes. I love them. It was a joy to come in and teach them. They know that. We get a great time. All right. Said that, let me get right down to it. My life was completely different than his. I was in Oz. Okay? In a very wealthy district in Long Island. But the pressures there were completely different than what he had. All right? I also was an assistant principal, working in central administration, actually hired people and so forth and so on. Horrendous. Okay. But conversely to what he was having, I had parents who were constantly calling up. Okay? I don't get an E-. What, are you kidding me? You know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that we had. Parents right behind your throat. They're paying high taxes. Their average income, average, about $180,000, $200,000. You can just imagine in corporate, present. But I'm going to tell you a quick story before I go on. My first year teaching, excited, couldn't wait to get in there. We had first open house to meet the parents. And so they know the story. And so the parent comes up to me, my daughter loves her. She'll do anything. Oh, she does the work. She talks about you all the time. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Oh, okay. I said, thanks very much. So he was actually talking out in the hall, and one of the old timers comes up. And I won't give you guys the last name, that's the parent. Oh, I see this parent was talking to you. Yes. Do you know who he was? Let me put it this way. You know Sopranos? He's the guy that people go to if you don't pay up, you break your legs. Okay. That's what he said. Oh, you want anything? I said, no. Good. The kid got A's the rest of the year. Okay. Enough said about that. So let's get down to some things. I'm going to take something, I can talk for hours. I'm not, because we only have a short period of time, and he took like 3/4 usually does. That's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's a great guy. So, what we want to do. I wrote your paper, by the way. Who did the paper? Who did the paper? Excellent job.
Oh, not me, the Dean Scholars and KDP did all the research.
They get it. No question. Now, here's the deal. You mentioned about the little kid. One thing you have to know about educational law. If a kid is endangering other kids, has to be removed. There's no question. It has to be removed from the classroom. Is that clear? When you're endangering other kids, does the parents call? You have to. All right? And how do you do that? Can you stick them out in the hall? No. Just going to run around the hall. No. What do? There has to be something. The administration has to have a program intact for kids like that. Is that clear? You have a certain responsibility. When you have reported it, you've done all things like that, tried the parents, whatever, got no response, you have to do something else. It's now an administration position. Is that clear? Especially endangering other kids. So what do? The kid has to be removed, and usually, in some schools now, they have a room with the teacher. And the kid is the room with that teacher. And the kid will be there every single day until that kid learns that there is certain acceptable behavior. Now, it's not a torture device. You're sitting there, his work can be given, so forth and so on. Something said. Anyway, the point is, you got what I'm saying. And it's an educational situation, but it's a one-on-one. Is that clear? Because the kid cannot continue to do the same thing all the time. You're not getting help from the parent. You're not getting help from the school, but it has to be done that stage. That's the end of the stage. Is that clear? Now, on a higher level, going on to the secondary, a different story. In that case, if you have a problem with a kid, basically I do two things. One, you speak to the kid directly. So you have two choices. One, you can behave, I will help you whatever I can to achieve what you should be doing. Success is not an option. Excuse me, failure is not an option. Problem, you have to be paying attention. Two, once you've done that, if you cannot behave, if you cannot control yourself, again, you're going to be removed from the classroom. And you'll have to take the course over. It's your choice. Because I'm not, this is the first couple of days. I'm not going to put up with it. Is that clear? That's it. You have to set the standards. Now, you don't have to be a drill sergeant here. You're just telling life. You have two choices. You can do it, you don't do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But you're not going to do it here. Because you see these other people here? They want to learn. You have that option too. Now, you shouldn't have to get to that point, but there are things you can do. You mentioned in the paper about motivation. I agree 100%. Motivating, key in any classroom. Setting that classroom environment. The kids want to be there. They make it exciting for them. Reach down to their level so that you can relate to them? Absolutely. Be creative. The kid wants to be there every single day. You can't do the same thing over and over again. Turn to page 22 and now do it. No, it's boring. You have to change things up. Be creative. Even with the core requirements, even with them, you can still be creative. Now, about parents, good point. If you deal with parents, okay, you document everything you do, whether it be through an email, save a copy, phone conversation, whatever. You document it. Now we tell you notes. We had an interview with a parent, we had dress requirements. The kid, girls dressed the same way every day. We made a showing, we didn't allow that, we had her considered school, we had to wear some covering. This went on every single day. So finally, I said, we're having a parent. The mother came in.
Same outfit.
Guess what?
Same outfit.
Same outfit, exactly. Right? You know, she dressed like a daughter, she must be cool. 55 years old, please. But you get what's happening here, correct? So we knew right away, without saying anything, without saying any word, we knew what was happening. What was said then, it says, Mrs. So-and-so, we do not accept that kind of standard here. She must dress this way. Oh, but she goes off to school this way. Fine, but she goes to the bathroom, she changes. We know that. However, here's what's going to happen, okay? And we called in the kid in the parent conference at the end. And we related exactly what we said to the parent. And he actually, it did change. It did change. That's another thing. Now, when you get parents, how do you get deal with an irate parent? Nobody asked that question. Correct? Well, for whatever reason, how do you deal with an irate parent? Never get involved. Don't yell, don't scream, don't get angry. Is that clear? You listen very carefully. Thank you very much for stating your concerns. Okay? You should always have the guidance counselor with you at the meeting. Okay? If you're working in a team, most of you in elementary school, if you're working with the team, those are elementary, English, math, social science, even on the low grades, and you bring in team members as a whole, so you can see how it was a whole, not just you. See, it's happening in the other classes as well. Oh, see? And then you can make suggestions with the parent there. But let them vent. Let them get it all out. And he said, oh, thank you very much. And let's get down to some solutions. Is that clear? You might stand up. Okay. So much to talk about. I mean, I go on forever. Also, with your teaching, the first day of class that you walk in, that first day, how you look and your demeanor. You know what demeanor means?
Yes.
What's demeanor?
The way you carry yourself.
What?
The way you carry yourself.
Correct. Not just on being, you know how you dress, that's for sure, your business attire, so. But your body language, your posture, how you speak. See how I'm speaking now? You would not come in the first day and say, good morning, boys and girls. Obviously, kids could be like grannies. You got it. Yeah! Okay? No. What you want to do is set the standard. I am the teacher. You're the student. But you don't speak down to kids. Is that clear? You do not. You respect them. There's another point in the paper, by the way, it's excellent. You treat them with respect, and they will treat you with good point. Is that clear? So what you do is, yes, you set that standard. And by the way, your eyes are very important. I always consider the eyes the soul of the body. They show love, hate, fear, correct? You can tell by kids. But when you come in that first day and you got that demeanor, you're not like a drill sergeant, not like that. But what you are going to do is set that nice standard with compassion. Is that clear? This is also something else. You understand them. Okay? If you have a problem, they should be able to come to you. You have an open door. Is that clear? Now you may hear some things from their family you don't want to hear. Never be alone with a student in a classroom, ever. Is that clear? Rumors could spread, and once that rumor spreads, your credibility, even if it's not the truth, is gone. Always have it with a teacher or some other people in the library where people are there. You can listen to conversations. However, the relationship legally is not like priest, petitioner, lawyer, client. Because anything the kid tells you, you have to say can be told to someone else. Is that clear? It's not confidential. You, like priest, so forth. Does everybody understand that? So legally, you could be called to testify if something happened. As you mentioned, your local parentis in Latin means local parent. You are their parent. If you do something wrong in their behalf, you're held accountable. Child abuse, if you've seen bruises and so forth, need to report it. To whom?
The nurse.
Thank you. Even if you err on the side of mistake, fine. You did your diligence. Is that clear? If you don't, you'll be held accountable. I won't bore you with a great story of the Steinberg case, because you know very well. It's a sad story about a beautiful girl, young girl, where abuse was neglected. That's not, so anything they say is held confidentially. Not held confidentially. You can report it to the AP, principal, whatever. Is that clear? If you're not getting any results from parents, look, most parents work. Is that clear? In this case, both parents will work. Correct? That's why we have after-school centers, okay, care and so forth. All right? you can burden them with additional burden. What you do is you do get on the phone or email, but I would like the phone conversations, you do it. You say, look, Mrs. Jones, I know you're working, I know you have other concerns, but I need to tell you this. And here's what I think I'm going to do. Is that clear? At least you're informing them of what's going to happen. And if this doesn't happen, this might have to happen. Got it? That's your diligence. You can't solve the world problems. You can try. You try your best. All right? Let me tell you another, there's so much to talk about here. Just flowing through it. Yeah, let's where I go on. Any other questions before we begin? Because there's so much that I want to go on with. Yes?
In regards to the first day of school, because that kind of sets the standard for how the rest of the year will run, do you have any like advice or like I know we talked a little bit about like classroom setup, like having the students' names on their desks, but you obviously can't set up like a full-on seating arrangement that you know is going to be 100% foolproof because you don't know the students
Right,
yet.
a great solution to that. Great solution. Works on any level. The first day of class, you say, hey kids, sit any place you want. Great. Who are they going to sit next to?
Friends.
Thank you. And the solution. So what are you going to do? What?
Move to the next day.
Exactly. Now you know who the friends are. That's what makes your friends. End the story. See, life is very simple. That's exactly what you do. All right? Because you know what's going to sit next to your friends, what's going to happen. Right? You make groups. Right? Because we have groups. How do you make the groups? Come on, there's a science to this. How do you do it? What? What? Any solutions?
Mixed level.
Okay, here's what you gotta do. Got a solution?
Yeah, she said.
I said mixed level.
One mixed level. Correct? You're not gonna have all the kids who can't read over here. Kids who can't write, no. You're gonna have mixed level and try not to have friends at the same table. And you have a kid who never does work or it's very hard to do work. Get a kid who's really compassionate, really can work well. All right? Great story. A little boy, she loves this little girl on the table. Great. Take that girl. She'll help. That's great. The best help you can do. I don't know. I'm talking about high school now. Okay. But peer relationships, peer help is the best thing that you can do. Peer teaching is great. Do it all the time. Have a kid who really knows one kid in class who's so far ahead, he can probably teach the class. I have that kid work with a kid who's kind of struggling along, right? And the kid gets satisfaction because he's doing something, and the kid who's kind of slow, I said, kid's age, she can help, right? Rather the teacher standing over, what's the matter? Okay, get the idea? Peer teaching, wonderful. Let me just say something else to you. Notes really good. About supervision. You might be asked to supervise different situations, not just a classroom. You have to be there in time. You have to know what your responsibilities are. If you have whole duty, be there. Don't go make a phone call. If something happens, you're liable. Is that clear? If you have a school trip, I'll tell you this is a great story. Elementary school though. Right? We all went to the city to see a play. And there they are. We got them in a Long Island Railroad. We actually had a car. The doors didn't open up. We started out from the first stop, from Long Island Road to the city. Right into Madison Garden. Okay, upstairs over here. Okay, every stop, the doors didn't open up. People trying to get on the train, they can't. Kids love it. We got to the station. We already planned out. Not all the members of the supervising. However, this one teacher who took the kids to a trip didn't quite do everything right. And he thought he had enough supervising. He had a lot of parents, not enough teachers. And they take the railroad home, and guess what? They lost a kid. The ultimate nightmare. The ultimate nightmare for a teacher. The kid calls up his father from Penn Station. He was a fourth grade, fifth grader. I know where my class is. I'm here by myself. Could you mention me to the parents? The parent rushed up, So the administrator, who was presented with a crisis. Fortunately, the parent told the kid, go to the nearest police officer right there. And he did. And they held him in a little area. Parent drove into the city, drove the kid. Next day, parent comes in and says, irate. You can understand it, right? So what happens? Parent says, what in the world? Thank God my son was okay, whatever, blah, blah. I want this teacher fired, I want him fired now. Well, what'd you do? You're the principal. Is there grounds for firing? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, neglect. You remember, look up right now. Keep that in mind. But what happened was the parent met with the teacher involved, apologized through the roof, and said, and the principal told the teacher, this happens again, you're out of here. Tenure or no tenure. Is that clear? And that's exactly what did happen, but this should never happen. I mentioned before, the first day, before you get to the first day of class, your lesson plans are ready to go, you have all the units ready to go, okay? Especially the summer before, for your first job. You get as much contact with that school and people who've been to that school as possible. You are prepared. Look at the kids' list, find out some of their backgrounds, some guidance, whatever. You are ultimately prepared. So when you come in, you start from that position. Your demeanor is set. You know what you can do for the whole year. You're planning out what's happening. Be flexible because your planning may not work out the way it is. There are going to be fire drills. There's going to be bad weather, late openings. You may, for example, I see this all the time, teachers, you're middle of a lesson, you look at the kids, you know they're not getting it. And you shouldn't go on unless the kids know it, by the way. You can ask certain questions very easily to see if the kids are an activity, a quick activity. If they're not getting it, stop. Don't go on. Go back. Make sure they know it before you go on. Because they don't know why, they can't do that night's homework, they won't know what's going on the next day. They're lost. And most kids will be bashful about that. Another point, make the environment so the kids can ask questions. There are no stupid questions, ever. Make the environment that she is not going to embarrass her. Got it? Nobody embarrasses anyone in your class. They feel comfortable. They're willing to ask questions and learn. It's the only way. They always tell that real smart kids are the ones who ask questions. Speak clearly, enunciate, so they can hear you back there. Walk around the room. Don't stand in one spot, especially when the kids are working. Walk around, see what they're doing. Somebody mentioned in their paper, okay? This guy over here, he's in a pain in the neck, okay? He's talking, he's not doing his work, he's talking to a friend of hers, right there. So, I'm talking to class, and I'm here. Yes, not to say a word. And you don't have to do this. You! What's the matter with you? Can't you control? No, you can't do that. So what are you going to do? Just stand there. You can stop the class. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Stop. Look at it. Stop. Okay? Don't back kids into a corner, ever. Don't do that. Don't challenge them in that respect. Is that clear? Little things you can do. Any questions? You don't stop me going forever. It's like a wound up. No questions? Any scenarios? Okay. How many here are juniors? Okay. Sophomores? Any freshmen? Good. And seniors. Okay. My suggestion is that when you get to student teaching, it's so important, the student teaching experience, the cooperating teacher or teachers are going to be extremely important. If you find out when you're teaching student teaching that your cooperating teacher is not really good for you, I would see someone early on and say, you know what, is there any way I can see other people or work with some other people? Nothing wrong with that. Is that clear? The last thing I want to say to you is the word J-O-B, job. That's why you're paying the big bucks here at St. John's. And my suggestion to you is this, and I want to say this before we leave here. In order to get a job anywhere, you have to be good. I can know in the first 5 minutes where you're good now. I can tell by asking certain questions. The key is here, is know your subjects well. Number 2, feel confident going in. Your body language, your interview is so important. If you don't understand a question, there's nothing wrong with saying, excuse me, could you explain that to me again? Fine. Is that clear? Don't use the word like. Oh, where'd you go to school? Like St. John's. What do you mean like St. John's? Isn't that quite St. John's? Is it St. John's or is it? Don't use don't say anything. Sometimes it's better to say nothing than to say something. Think. You have time to think. Put a pin in the map and see how far you want to commute. You look for a job. And he had a great story called the Pizza Boy, where he went out, this kid in his class went out, and I told him, and he went
40
to,
schools.
what? How many?
Went to 4 or 40 schools.
40 schools. Because you know, you send it out an email, they never, either you know somebody, or you're proactive like this guy. He went to 40 schools, and he happened to be in the school where the principal was looking for somebody, happened to be the right time, and he got a job. You gotta be proactive.